and a lot of times it becomes divisive. I wonder from your standpoint how you feel about people using your name in whatever culture wars or whatever wars they're fighting. How do you feel about that?
It's not something I can control, so I don't put too much thought and time into thinking about things like that. And to be honest, I don't see a lot of it. Like I've said, like basketball's my job. Like everything on the outside, I can't control that, so I'm not going to spend time thinking about that. People can talk about what they want to talk about, create conversations about whatever it is. But I think for myself, I'm just here to play basketball. I'm here to have fun. I'm trying to help our team win. Obviously, we've won 3 games, and we feel like we've been in a position to win a few more than that. And my focus is on helping us do that. But I don't pay much mind to all of that, to be honest.
How much do you think that it's impacted your ability to cultivate relationships within the league?
I think everybody in the league understands. One, we're excited about all this attention we're getting. I think we're appreciative of it. I think the league has been great for a really long time. But my focus is on my teammates. Like, they've been amazing. I don't think it's impacted me making relationships on my team. I'm not obviously talking to people on other teams on a daily basis. Like, I have so much to focus on here, and getting my teammates to trust me and do all that is my main focus. Same with our coaching staff, and same with this organization. Yeah.
But I understand your focus, but I'm just curious though, are you bothered that folks would attempt to weaponize your name in whatever fight they're fighting?
No, I don't see it. That's not where my focus is. My focus is here and on basketball, and that's where it needs to be, and that's where it has been, and I'm just trying to get better on a daily basis.
Taylor, one of the perks right now is you got 2 days between each of one of these games. What do you feel like you and this team need to get accomplished over the next week of practices?
Yeah, I think, the Connecticut game was definitely a tough one for us. I felt like we didn't give everything that we had. I don't think we were really ready to play, and that's disappointing, especially because the time we played Connecticut previously, I thought we played a really good game and we're in a position to be very successful, and then, you kind of take that confidence in there and then you don't perform at the level that you want to. But I think, just having fun and having a smile on our face, like, you can't lose that. And that's kind of been Coach's message, is we need to have fun, with each other. We need to celebrate one another. Basketball is a fun game. It needs to be played with a lot of passion and a lot of joy. And I think that's what she's been trying to preach over the last couple of days. And we had an off day, which was nice, which has been very good for our bodies. I think between these, obviously the first 3 weeks of the season we didn't have any, and now we are able to have those in between games. I think it's a good mental reset, and also good to come in and work on things that you want to work on. But yeah, I think we know the ones on your home court are the ones you really need to win and focus on. So I think these next 2 are super important for us.
How much are you looking forward to Temmie getting back whenever that is, because of how much success you 2 in particular have?
Absolutely, and obviously an unfortunate injury that you can't really control, and I know she's itching to get back and doing everything that she can, and I think Temmie's been so good for this team, not only on the basketball court, but just as a leader in our locker room. She's had such a vocal voice for us, and somebody that people can lean on when things are tough, and sometimes that's hard when she's not on the court. And obviously she was really coming into her own there right before she got hurt. I thought she was giving really good minutes. And but yeah, I'm excited for her to get back. Hopefully that's sooner rather than later, and I know she's ready too. So.
Carolina, you talked about the physical toll, physical recovery, things like that. Has your mental recovery changed at all since coming to the WNBA? Have you talked to anybody, a sports psychologist, anything like that, to just deal with the way?
Yeah, absolutely. And I did the same thing when I was in college. I think it's an important part of the game, and but also I think at this level, you have to understand, you have to be able to go one to the next. You can't sit and sulk about one performance or one game too much. It's going to affect the next. And I think that was almost, not difficult at the beginning of the season, but just kind of a change, because obviously we're playing game practice. So that's not something I was really used to. And, I'm a perfectionist. I want to perform at the highest level. I expect us to win every single game that we go into. So sometimes that can be hard. You look back and think about the other games that you missed a slight opportunity, but you can't do that. You've got to just move on to the next game and, not let that affect you, and just try to improve. So I think that's been an adjustment in a way, but I feel like I've definitely gotten better at it, and obviously the time between games has certainly helped over the course of the last week and a half or 2 weeks.
Was Monday kind of a turning point for you guys, this team? She called you guys out and kind of brought this team together a little bit more, you think?
I'm not sure I would say it's a turning point. I think it was a good moment of accountability more than anything, because I think it's always great to be held accountable, no matter what your role is on a team, no matter if you play, no matter if you don't play, no matter if you're on the coaching staff, whatever your role is in this organization, you know, everybody needs to be held accountable, and it would be same for anybody else that has a working job. And yeah, so I don't know if it was a turning point. I think it was just a good refresher in our minds, like, you're getting paid to do a job, like you need to come and do it every single day. And so just a moment of accountability, I would say, more than anything.
Practice yesterday, shoot-around today. How do you think the team has responded since Coach said what she said the other
Yeah,
day?
I think it's been really good. I think there's been great energy. I don't think that's been something that coaches had to pull out of us all season long, even though things maybe haven't been, you know, perfect to start the season. And you know, there's always been great energy. There's always been a will to win. There's always been a belief that we're going to win going into these games. It's not like, oh, we're going to play another game. No, it's like, no, we're going to play a game to win. People keep continuing to prepare in the way that they need to, and yeah, I don't think it's anything coach has to pull out of us. I think it's, you know, something we're able to give and feed off of one another.
I joked with Aaliyah yesterday. Is it nice to be preparing for someone other than the Sun, Liberty, Storm?
Yeah, I feel like we just kind of played the same teams to start the season, and a lot of those teams were at the top of the pack. So I think that should provide us a lot of confidence in some of these games that we're going into, but also like knowing like these are great opportunities for us, so we can't let them slip by. I felt like we've already let a couple slip by. So like these are super important games for us.
When you look at the tape, what do you see from the Atlanta Dream?
Yeah, I think they're really good, really fast team. I think they're great in one-on-one, so you're gonna have to really be able to guard your person. I think, you know, they get back in transition, so whether we can push, but then if it's not there, we have to be able to get into our offense. So being able to differentiate between the two of those, I think, is important, but they have some tremendous one-on-one players, so I think the key is going to be able to guard your player one-on-one and not rely on help, and I think we struggled with Connecticut doing that, so I think this is a huge, you know, opportunity to respond to be able to do that.
Dream
Got
Center,
time for two more.
Dream Center Tina Charles said she was a little bit in awe of you and proud of you for how you've handled things as a rookie.
That's kind.
What does it mean for a vet who is one of the most influential players in this league to say that?
Yeah, that's super sweet. I really appreciate it, and obviously somebody that's been absolutely incredible in this league and has given a lot and so much. So, you know, she's having a tremendous year, and obviously I really appreciate that. So it's cool.
How have you been able to handle it? It's a lot.
Yeah, I think just lean on the people around you, worry about what's in your locker room, and for me, that's all that matters. But I think, you know, having a tight circle is the way that I go about things, and those are the people that have my back at the end of the day.
Challenge on Monday night. Seems like the mood's really good here.
Yeah, you know, we had a good day yesterday. We had a good team day. Got a lot of shots up. Talked about Atlanta. Left here on a good note.
What's the latest with Timmy? We haven't heard anything in a couple weeks. How's she coming along?
Yeah, she's, you know, we're hoping sooner than later, and we'll have more of a better idea of where we are after today. She's seeing some doctors today, and we'll see kind of where we are.
We've seen Grace out there. I assume she's good to go after the last couple of days.
Yeah, Todd wants to do some stuff with her right now just to kind of see where she is, so I'll know more about that after.
Coach, we talk a lot about identity of teams. When you look at your club and what you want to become, what is the identity of this team that you aspire to?
Yeah. You know, last year when I took this job, it was to be the hardest working, toughest team in the league. You have a chance if you do those two things, if you're hard at working every single day and then play at a level of toughness. And so, you know, now we're getting back to that. Like, we've got to get some confidence. And I think if you just play at a high level of physicality and toughness, it puts you in a better situation to get some wins. I think we've got to keep learning each other. I think, you know, we're still real young in the season, real early in the season, not a lot of practice time. So I think just reps, and these guys getting to spend some time together, you know, away from the basketball court also helps.
How is it in terms of the balance from afar, watching you guys and watching this league? It seems that trying to find that balance between inside play and guard play, pace of the game, those sorts of things. Are you all still learning that? And ultimately, what is it that you want to get to with that?
Yeah. I'll go back to last year again. We played a style last year that we're still playing this year, that is to play through our posts. I think you've got to get the defense to collapse. That gives you wide open shots, right? So that is our big focus, right? To try to get paint touches. That doesn't mean we're trying to throw the ball inside. It means like feet in the paint. What happens when you get feet in the paint off dribble drives? It collapses the defense. So that gives you the advantage, right? You get a 3-on-2 or a 2-on-1. So that's what we're working to get in those situations.
Christie, what's the balance of, Taylor was saying, you know, coming from college to the pros, they got to be able to flush things like quicker. What's the balance of like flushing like a game, but also remembering like, okay, I got to improve on this area of the game?
Yeah, well, that's on us to, you know, after the game the other night, like after going back and watching it, there was so many things. Like I've got to find ways to help them and be better. Like I've got to take them on days and show them like the Connecticut team. Like they are the best team in our league right now. We had just had a really good couple practices, and we just needed, like we went into that high emotions, high intensity, and they punched us. They punched us early. And we've got to really be able to, when adverse situations happen, find ways to get refocused. And that's what we're talking about a lot. Find ways when adversity happens and when things aren't going our way, just being able to get back focused in individual and as a team and get moving back in the right direction.
Talk about how this has been find the joy in the game again. Like, don't get caught up in everything. Well, that matters. You got to find that fun. What have you tried to express with them?
Yeah, that's kind of the one thing I've always said first. Like, if you're not having fun doing what you do, then it's gonna, it can make for a really miserable situation, especially in this league, which is really tough as we're trying to rebuild this team. And so, we're trying to, it's hard when you're playing so often. You're getting some wins, but then like you get a good win and you got to go play New York, right? Like you play Washington and then you got to go play at Connecticut. So you got to find, like, we've got to get some good feels, some consistent feels, and just, find a way to have fun getting better every day.
But Coach, how hard is it to do that when the outside narrative is always about things other than basketball? Not always, but a lot of the time. How tough is it to find that joy and that fun when you're dealing with questions that don't have anything to do with this?
Yeah, that's part of what we're trying to keep the main thing the main thing. We're trying to keep everything tight in our circle, and that's the only real way you can. And I know it's hard because all the questions and all the outside narratives, that's tough to navigate. But if we can just like stay focused on what we can do, control what we can control, that's all we're trying to do right now.
How big is that challenge?
I mean, it's tough, but it's it's what we do. When things, when you're going through hell, you just find a way to keep on going and get better daily.
What's the balance? I ask players this about mental recovery process, and I might talk to a sports psychologist. I might talk to my mom. What's it like for a coach to mentally recover and kind of grow throughout a lot of this?
Yeah, this is something I've never gone through before. So we're navigating that. I lean on Lynn a lot. I lean on Allison Barber a lot. I reach out to mentors of mine. Like, there's very little information out there with what we're going through, which is a great thing. I mean, what we're doing, we're playing in front of packed houses every night. It's great for our game. We just have to figure out how to keep the main thing, keep it in, in our circle, and just keep getting better every day.
Coach, I just want to be clear. When you say what you're going through, can you put more meat on the bone exactly what you mean by that so that we're not assuming what you mean?
Well, just with any team, a growing team, a new team, just growing pains. I mean, trying to get, rhythm with each other, trying to get better defensively. I mean, that's really what it is, like trying to get through this process in unprecedented times.
Christie, one practice, one shoot around, but since the effort comment was made, do you feel like this group has turned the corner with after the post game in Connecticut?
Yeah, I mean, we talked after the game, and I watched some of the things that they were saying back to me. Like, they didn't, we just have to be able to fight when adversity hits, and we can't just, that's a tough team. The Connecticut team is one of the best, toughest teams in the league, without a doubt. I mean, they are physical from the time the ball goes up, and we've just got to be able to match that and be able to handle that from the beginning and not let their punches take us out of what we do really well.
Do you feel like you thought you'd have to talk about effort 13 games into the season or whatever with this group?
I don't think we're going to have to talk about that again.